Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog, and today I'm going to show you how I make the content of this envelope, which I think I'm going to call a double envelope flipbook. This is the envelope that I ended up mailing it out in. You will also see that in this video. Anywho, double envelope flipbook. I really always struggle with coming up with names for my projects. Some of them are quite similar, but it's just for me to be able to say, oh, you want to make this project? Look at the video that is called Double Envelope Flipbook or something similar. So if you have a better name for this, please do let me know. I could use some help with that, I guess. So what we're making today is the title already suggests it, a flipbook out of envelopes. And I am using the She's Magic paper pad, 12x12 paper pad. It's an absolutely gorgeous paper pad if you ask me. And I decided to go with some brighter colors because that's something I rarely do. And then what I'm using for decorating is one of the 12x12 paper sheets that has a lot of cut aparts on it as well. So the first thing I'm doing is simply picking the papers and also turning these papers into the envelopes I'm going to use. Now, another thing I am going to use for decorating these envelopes is coloring book pages. You will see me do that in a second because I have a Patreon account. I try not to promote that too much, it always feels kind of awkward, but I have a Patreon account, and over there we do a monthly challenge that all of us can participate in, or it's not a cult, so if you don't participate, that's also fine. It's just for those of you that need a little bit of extra inspiration or some guidelines. Sometimes it's nice to have a challenge. I know I like working with the challenge because it helps me think outside the box. I always try to go with things that all of us have access to, so it's not crazy things that no one can join. So for last month we had coloring book pages because I have a lot of those. I love doing coloring book pages, but I like it most when I can color in something and have it actually have a purpose. Like when I'm simply coloring in a page, I feel like it feels kind of useless, and then when I turn it into an envelope or use it for decorating, it feels like it has some sort of a purpose and it's easier just to enjoy it, if that makes sense. I don't know, my brain works funnily sometimes. So for last month we had coloring book pages, and I made this video to go with last month's challenge, but the receiver of this mail actually moved, and I didn't know that, so I sent it to her old address, and luckily the people who live there now have sent it back to me so that I could contact her and send it again. And now it has been received, but obviously I wanted to wait until it was received so that I could send it, so that I could upload this video without spoiling anything. But back to this mail, I guess. Sorry for like pausing the whole time again because my video editing program still isn't fixed, so the video pauses the whole time. Anyway, what I did is I made two envelopes, very simple. Make normal envelopes, use envelopes that you buy, repurpose envelopes, it doesn't matter as long as you have two envelopes. And then what you do is you stick the flap of one of the envelopes into the other envelope, and then you stick the other flap down, or you cut it off, depends on what you like. But I decided to stick that down at the back of the other envelope, and ta-da, you have a flip book. You have two pockets that you can stuff with a letter or goodies or whatever else you please. It's super simple, and it's again something that I think every one of us will have access to. Plug. I also have a video for making envelopes, so if you don't have an envelope punch board, if you do have an envelope punch board but you don't know how it works, or if you don't have any fancy tools, I have a video that explains a couple of different ways on how to make envelopes with or without fancy tools, so I will link that down below. But like I said, feel free to use any envelopes you have lying around as well. It would also be fun to reuse an envelope and I don't know, cover up the used part with paper or something. Whatever else you like. Now, I made a mistake, or I didn't make a mistake, but I changed my mind. Sadly, I already stuck the envelope down, so I couldn't peel it off, even though I tried. But I didn't like that the inside of the envelopes was plain white. There's two things you can do. You can stick a piece of paper in there, or obviously if you've used double-sided paper, you don't have to. But I decided just to randomly decorate the white paper with stripes. I don't know. I have this really pretty watercolor pan. It's called Pastel Dreams and it's from Prima marketing. I get questions about it all the time, which I totally get because it's so pretty. I tried to link it down below, but it's quite hard to find. But the brand is called Prima marketing. Anyhow, I just made random pastel colored stripes to sort of fill in the background and also have it kind of calm still. Like, I didn't want to put another busy print because these two prints, although they are simple, are already quite busy. So I just decided to do some watercolor stripes. Super simple, but in my opinion it is a fun way to turn a blank page into a colorful one. So that's what we're doing. And then I'm also going to decorate the rest of these envelopes and fill them with goodies. Now, while I'm doing this, I already sped this video up quite a bit, but still I have some time to talk. It has been a while since I did some actual talking, I think. And I don't even remember what the last thing we talked about was. But let me just do a little life update while we are watching this. First of all, a question. How are you? I don't know, I feel like I haven't been online that much. I feel like I haven't talked to all of you as often as I normally do, so feel free to give me an update. I would like that very much. I will also tell you how I'm doing. I don't know, a lot of you are not from Europe, so you probably do not know, or you do know because I've talked about it before, but we've been in a very summery situation where we had temperatures of above 30 degrees Celsius, that is. I don't know how much Fahrenheit that is, but it has been hot. Long story short, it has been super hot, and I don't know about you, but I don't function well in heat, so I have been very unproductive. I worked 4 days a week and then I did absolutely nothing else. No household chores, no crafting, no writing, no filming, no video editing. All I did was lay in front of a fan and cry about the temperatures. Getting rudely interrupted by my cat, who is trying to catch a fly that is buzzing around the window. Excuse you, we are doing video editing here. Anywho, in the background I'm obviously coloring in some pages. I'm not going to show you the whole process because that would be too long, but it's from a book that's called Feel Good Color, something like stress relief coloring book pages. I bought it secondhand in a thrift store for like €3. I don't know anything about where you can buy it, but it's fun, and I decided to pick some pages that have little elements on them, such as crafting elements. The top page has scissors, it has a roll of yarn, it has some I don't know, fabric. It has some items that I think relate to crafting, and then there's also one that has stamp designs on it, which is also kind of perfect, and then the last one has little windows. I ended up not using the windows, but I still thought it was kind of cute for decorating. So, again, as I said, that was the Craft Club challenge from last month. Use coloring book pages. I know it's a little bit late, but I hope it still counts as inspiration. Then I decided I wanted to put the receiver's name on the front of this pocket. I still didn't know how I was going to decorate it, but I just thought if I die cut the name, then probably I can do something with that. I have those little tile die cuts. I got them off of AliExpress. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you where I got them, but I used them to die cut some of the papers that come with this paper pad and say her name, which is Anne Marijn. Very Dutch. But then I realized that it didn't actually fit if I put them all next to each other, so I kind of went with a playful look. So this is my natural decorating process. Oh yeah, what was I telling you? Super hot, didn't do anything. So I'm just going back to my personal story in case you didn't realize, but I don't know, it made me kind of sad because I felt so unproductive. I felt like I had to do some crafting at least, or send out some mail, because so many of you have sent me mail and I literally couldn't send anything back because it was like 29 degrees in my room, which is too hot to function. And then I was also pretty tired from work, because working in 30 degrees is also pretty terrible, as you can probably imagine. So I don't know, I just wasn't really myself. I cannot really deal with the heat. So that was not good. One last thing I want to say about this mail, which I'm decorating in the background, is all of the items are from the same paper pad, so it's all like cut apart sheets and stuff like that. And then the what I did is I made like a little trim. I have a trim die, so but you could also use scissors for that. Obviously, just cut a piece of paper multiple times until you have like a trim. I don't know how to say that. And then I cut small pieces of the paper off so that it looks more playful. I don't know if that makes any sense, probably not, but yeah, that's what I did. And then I have a typewriter. This is an official vintage typewriter. It's very pretty, it's light blue. I'm super happy that I found it. And in the paper pad there's this sort of vintage, cat meowing, vintage stationery type paper, and I used that to create some tiny word stickers. So I just typed with my typewriter directly onto the design paper, and now I'm going to cut that apart so that I have tiny word stickers. It's not stickers, that I have tiny word papers that I can use for decorating. And then what I'm doing now is I cut off another piece of paper and I'm going to make a small little goodie bag, goodie something, I don't know, just put goodie bags onto a piece of paper so that it looks pretty and you can pull them out all at once instead of having I cannot talk, instead of having multiple small envelopes in the envelope. You can just have one big something. I don't know, I'm not making a whole lot of sense today, am I? I worked again today, so probably my brain is a bit fried. Still 26 degrees today. Okay, so what I'm doing is I have a beautiful vellum envelope. It's like my favorite type of paper, and I put a lot of the tiny word sentence thingies that I made and cut into that goodie bag so that she can use them in her projects. I'm personally super proud of how that turned out, because in my opinion, it's a really, really cute goodie. Especially because you have that beautiful vintage typewriter font, and also because like the lettering, the typing is not perfect, so you can see that it's actual typewriter. I don't know, I just like that. Those kind of things make me happy. And then the other goodie bag has some washi tape stickers, which is like my staple favorite goodie. And then I'm also turning one of the coloring book stamps into an embellishment, and I'm making another embellishment with a ticket that was on the cut apart sheet. Tea time! I think I need to make some tea myself now as well, because I'm talking so much. I am thirsty. But yeah, I keep losing my train of thought, because as I said, I worked again today, but I'm functioning so much better now that it's below 30 degrees. It's just, I'm not made for this weather. And I'm also really looking forward to having some normal days off when I can actually do something productive and finish a video, finish a PO box opening video, and hopefully send out some mail, because I haven't done that in a while. And as I started saying, I've received an insane amount of mail. It's like new records for me. I'm receiving so much mail, and I would love to try and reply to more of you, because I simply haven't been replying at all lately. So I don't know, I need some crafty time. I think we could all use some crafty time. I don't know, I'm just deciding for you. Let me know, have you been crafting? I really hope so. Crafting makes you happy and calm, and it's important. Good story, Vivian. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of assembling a letter I wrote that's in the top pocket, and then I'm putting the goodie page into the bottom pocket, and then I'm also sticking in some of the cut parts. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't like that you can like see my letter, that you can see part of the letter, so I'm just using the cut parts as a kind of a, I don't know, to hide the letter, I don't know. And for this mail I have decided to do the layout like vertical, like one envelope above another, but you could also do a horizontal layout if that makes sense. So flip it sideways so that you have a little booklet that opens like a normal book instead of up. Very sorry for the way I'm trying to explain these things. I think it's like my lack of English knowledge in these type of words, and also me being tired, but I hope it makes sense. I think it makes sense if you look at it, right? So feel free to do whatever you please. Also, if you decide to do this layout, you could add more envelopes. As long as your paper is not too thick, you could easily do the same thing again and stick the flap of another envelope into one of the envelopes, and then you would have a little page in your flipbook. So I think you could add multiple envelopes if you wanted to, but at one point it obviously becomes a little bit hard to fold. But yeah, feel free to play around with that. I've done that before. Getting distracted by another cat trying to catch a fly. Oh, the reason why I'm getting so distracted and why you might hear multiple sounds now is because I had to move my computer down. With the 28 degrees in my craft room, it was kind of, I didn't want to be there at all, and downstairs it was like 1 or 2 degrees less hot, so I had to move my computer down. So now I have like all of the interruptions from my housemates, being my cats and my boyfriend in between. So I hope that's not too bad, but yeah, hopefully the temperatures go down a bit and I can move everything back to normal. It's nice to be downstairs, but I also really like being in my own crafty space, surrounded by my craft supplies. Although I have to admit, I always get distracted so easily. Like when I'm crafting, I'll get distracted by my computer. When I'm on my computer, I'll get distracted by my crafting supplies. So there's no really perfect solution here. Next thing I'm doing, I know you guys like knowing what kind of goodies I include, so I will tell you that's obviously a washi tape sample. I just put that on a scrap of paper. It's a black and white script washi tape that I got off of AliExpress, and it's quite nice and you can use it for so many things, so I thought maybe she would like that as a goodie. And the next thing I'm doing is I'm creating a tiny goodie bag. Should say, stop saying goodie bag, a gift bag with buttons. I don't know, I just felt like including all sorts of bits and pieces that can be used for many different things. I don't know if she will be able to use them or if she even uses buttons at all, but I personally have a thing for buttons and it makes me happy, so I think hopefully it also makes other people happy. That's the thing about pen paling, as long as it's flat, can be sent in an envelope, and is kind of relatively lightweight, you can send it in an envelope. So tea or goodies that can be used for crafting, or what I'm going to include now is a ribbon. I'm going to include tulle, still don't know how to pronounce that, but tulle, and I'm going to include a small part of that, how would you call that, like it's also ribbon but it has leaves on it. It's very pretty. And I don't know, I included so many random things, even tulle. Like I never would include tulle as a gift, but for some reason it made sense. It felt like a little include everything kind of day. Sorry for that going so fast. What I did is I'm going to show it more slowly is what I'm trying to say. Try and say that 10 times fast. Show it more slowly in a second as well, so don't worry. But I included the ribbon and the leaf ribbon on a Project Life card. I just made little cuts in the Project Life card and then I stuck the ribbon in between to hold it in place. And I put the tulle into a clear gift bag because that was very difficult to put in an envelope. here's our first look up close. You're gonna get more, don't worry. What I did last is I added some Nuvo Drops, my all-time favorite, and then I obviously decorated the pockets with my handmade die cuts, being the coloring book page elements. I included some little teeny tiny doodles, like some dots and circles. I included the tiny word sentence thingies that I typed on my typewriter, and I included some parts of the cut apart sheet. So it's simple, but I quite like the way that looks. And this is me decorating the envelope that this is going to get sent in. I again used a scrap of that pretty lined paper that is from the paper pad, and a scrap of paper and a cut apart quote that says grow through what you go through, and I think that's so beautiful. And then here is the finished look, one of them at least. You're going to get multiple, because this project, I have to say, I was quite pleased with. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of close-ups. I hope that's okay. I always personally really like making these because it's like a nice ending to a video. There at the bottom you can see the trim I made, and here you have some sentences. Oh, if you want to know, like, the type of words that I typed are things that relate to crafting mainly. So one of them says crafty girls, another one says craft all day, or create all day, or always creating, or stuff like that. So it's all crafting inspired, or it says happy mail, or it says open me, or it says open here. So it's tons and tons and tons of different little tiny words, and I think they'll be perfect for using on envelopes or on projects. See, that's the project life card. I just cut into it, and then I wrapped the ribbon around that. There's my finished goodie pocket page, which I quite like, if I'm completely honest. Okay, so that is the finished envelope, the finished project. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Give it a big thumbs up. I also want to thank all of my patrons. You are helping me save for a new microphone and a new camera, which is going to be super exciting. So a big thank you to everyone who watches this, to my patrons, and to anyone basically who supports my channel, and I'll talk to you again soon. Have a lovely day. Stay safe. Bye.